Hello, welcome to a wrap of HubSpot's best features in 2025. So 2025 was a pretty massive year for HubSpot. Over 200 features released. Something that part of the reason why I'm releasing this is that there's a lot of businesses who do approach us who are paying for HubSpot and they have questions around, hey, why are we paying for HubSpot? Fair call. But for a lot of those organizations, they might have been set up, say, 1, 2, 3, 4 years ago. They might have been set up by someone internal where they didn't necessarily have CRM expertise and strategy to set up the platform in a way that helps them scale and grow. And I love jumping into portals like that and seeing people's eyes pop, seeing the sales team get excited, looking at features they're going to save them hours a week, looking at the marketing team, so to have them realize that there are features in there that they haven't touched, and customer service team to be able to just really jump in and go, wow, this is going to save us hours every week answering, say, questions that a system can answer for them. And I think the core of it is then having a system where all the data is sitting inside HubSpot. You've got a fantastic reports that sit over the top, and then the business owners are like, oh, hallelujah, this is why we're paying for this system, so we can make better decisions and move our business forward. So let's jump in and take a look at some of the main features that we've got with HubSpot. If this thing, are you going to load? There we go. There we go. So yeah, this is generated by AI, so it's a tiny bit off, but bear with me. So look, the big one is that HubSpot has had a slight brand polish. So if you've got a keen eye, you'll notice that the coloring on their website has changed slightly. So a slightly different orange. Slightly darker orange, and their market focus has shifted. I think they're recognizing that for a lot of very, very small players in the market who aren't using a CRM right now and maybe transitioning to their first CRM. And by small players, I'm looking at, whether you're there's businesses that are out there that are sole trader or say 2 or 3 employees and they just need something to get up and running. AI is almost at the point where you can start to type into an AI system and build a CRM yourself. So very, very basic CRMs. So anything from just being able to store people's details and have, let's say, a sales pipeline sit over the top. Anything more than that, okay, you've got to invest in a better CRM. But HubSpot is starting to realize that it's not really their core focus anymore. Let's focus on businesses that are a little bit larger, who are able to really get the benefit out of HubSpot. It's not to say that HubSpot doesn't work for smaller businesses. It's more that there's more benefit for slightly larger organizations. Okay, so that's their shift in market focus. So let's talk about AI. So HubSpot released Breeze this year. So Breeze was the agent or assistant that sits within HubSpot, where you can type anything into this assistant and you can say, hey, ask a natural language question such as, who are the sales deals that I should focus on this month? Or who's that person I spoke to last week who owned a cat? It'll go off and it'll go through all of the data in HubSpot and pull out information. So no longer do you have to build complex queries in your CRM. You can just type in natural language and it'll pull out the information for you. This one here, the agents. So this is pretty cool. So these agents will sit in the background and do the heavy lifting for you. So that could be a sales agent looking at prospects who have a buyer signal that you should definitely reach out to or prioritize. Agents that go off and researching who your next target market could be, or an agent which goes off and generates content for you, so you can release a blog post. It'll go off and do the research for you. So these agents are really, really powerful. Next one is our AI builders. So for some businesses, not necessarily having the technical expertise to be able to build out, say, something like a report or a workflow, or even properties in the back end of the system, being able to type into these and just, hey, I want to report on who our best salesperson was in the last 6 months. It'll just build a report for you. So those builders are in there as well. Now, another area of AI is that we saw HubSpot integrate with the major LLMs. So the first one was Claude. One of the things that we love about Claude is that the Claude has a focus of keeping data very, very privatized. So that was sort of HubSpot's first jump, or first notification announcement of a jump with an LLM. And the whole point being is that you can then get something like the power of Claude to and then analyze your CRM, and you can start to get Claude in your CRM to talk to each other. Yes, they've now released like Gemini and a few others as well, but definitely integration with those LLMs so that you can, within your LLM, let's say Claude or Gemini or ChatGPT, you can just ask it information about your HubSpot, okay, without having to load information into it. Then we've got the data hub. So it used to be called Operations Hub. I'll admit, we're a HubSpot partner. We found it really challenging to sell Operations Hub. It just seemed like this technical beast that no one really knew what to do with. But one of the things I do love about this is this data sync. So being able to synchronize with anything from a Google Sheet, a Microsoft Online sheet, to multiple data sources to be able to pull into a central location. So sort of like a data warehouse. I wouldn't say exactly like it, but getting to that point where we're starting to see HubSpot as your single source of truth for a lot of information in your business, then run reports over the top, and hence your more accurate dashboards. So this was a big leap forward. A lot of businesses go, oh wow, this is great, when they see the power of this data sync. There's a lot of other features in the Data Hub, but that's probably the best one. Then we've got our what we call our smart CRM. So they've shifted from a CRM where there's lots of manually typing on the keyboard to a smart CRM that will allow you to self-generate data. So as an example, if, and this is probably my favorite one, if you have a prospect that has visited, or say someone that's visited a certain part of your website, HubSpot will allow you to find out which company they're from, add that company into the CRM, pull in all of the details about that company, so anything from just the basics like address, LinkedIn, but then news articles and any other information about that company. If you have that company in your target market, it'll present that company to your sales team, and then also it'll look at signals to say, look, they've been looked at this page, a pricing page. They've had a big announcement where they've actually had an injection of capital in the last month. They're ripe for reaching out to, and they're right in your target market. So I love this self-generating data system. A huge leap forward, as I said, from just people manually researching on the net and putting in data from having to manually research this stuff. Then we've got our smart insights. So most areas of the CRM now have a smart insights tab where we can view data or view information in our system, either as like the traditional sort of table view. We've got Kanban where we can drag records, so you can drag leads, contacts, deals, everything around in the system, and then have this Smart Insights tab where it'll tell you information about, okay, well, this set of contacts is actually moving faster forward because of your blog post than this set of contacts. So really, really a lot of intelligence going into these CRM systems now. Then we've got our marketing and sales component. So they introduced what's called Marketing Studios. So being able to manage all of your marketing campaigns in a single point. Gone are the days where we had all sorts of different marketing activities happening, and then you had to sort of feed them into this big report. The Marketing Studio allows you to then analyze your campaigns based on whether you've got a landing page, some ads running, whether you've got some automated emails that are going out, some social media, whatever it might be. Analyze those and give you a snapshot of how that campaign is performing. That's fantastic. Now this thing, the Sales Workspace. So one of the challenges with HubSpot was that you had to click everywhere, and say if you were looking at a deal, you then had to jump into a contact record and then jump back out to the deal and then off to a task and then back to the. So there was a lot of jumping around. what they've done is they've built this fantastic sales workspace available in sort of professional and above, where everything sits in one screen. So sales teams can, or sales users can literally spend their whole day in one section of HubSpot without having to jump anywhere else. Love that. CPQ, configure price quote. This is a big leap forward for HubSpot. So being able to have more flexible quoting capability. As an example, you've got volume-based quoting. As an example, it would be if you're buying 1 to 10 of a particular thing that is a certain price. If you bump that up to 100, you get more volume-based pricing where you've got a bit of a discount. It might be certain tiered pricing based on a company or certain rules. So a company is a certain size, so they go in certain pricing, where someone is another size, they get other types of pricing. So way more flexible quoting capability. And the thing that I love about this is that when you send a quote to someone, the person that's viewing the quote can maybe bump up, say if they wanted 10 and now they bump it up to 20, the quote will automatically follow the rules and say, well, now that you're in 20, you get a 10% discount. You can save the quote and then purchase based off, say, the bumping up of the volume. Or you can remove line items and say, look, when we originally spoke to the salesperson, we wanted this line item. We don't need that for another 6 months, so let's just take that one out. It'll, once again, the quote will automatically update, and then you can purchase based off that quote. So think of the older days where you had to go back and forth and say, can you remove this? The salesperson would have to regenerate the quote, resend it. It was just a bit of a hassle. And then this meeting assistant. So it'll sit inside your meetings, listen to all of the talk within the meetings, and then give you feedback based on how your meeting is performing from a sales point of view. Okay, this meeting assistant. Now they've done some updates to Service Hub as well. This is fantastic. I don't know why my AI has decided to break service over 2 blocks, but so be it. So we've got this cool Helpdesk workspace, similar thing to the Sales Workspace where you had to jump around before. Now everything is just in this one spot. The Customer Success Workspace, so it'll start to have like agents that'll answer queries for you. So someone's logged a ticket. The classic is IT of like, hey, my computer doesn't work and I'm just having a bit of fun here. But the low-hanging fruit would be like, hey, have you turned it off and back on again? But feeding HubSpot all of your knowledge base articles and all of your knowledge to be able to answer questions for you. For the more technical questions, it's obviously going to have to push across to your service team, your customer support team, but being able to answer a lot of these questions for you, that's what these are all about. So that's a wrap for 2025. If there's any in there that you love, please add them into the comments in this video. There's heaps more. This is I've already got into 13 minutes, so thank you for watching. And if you're loving these videos, please like and subscribe. As I said, if there's features in there that you love, then add them to the comments. If you feel like you're missing out on some of these features, you didn't know they were there, please reach out to us. We're happy to give a demo of how they work and ideally help your business take advantage of them. So thanks again for watching. It's the end of the year. Happy end of the year. Happy 2026. And we will see you ideally next year. Thanks again. Bye-bye.